Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our sister, and this message, it comes from a translation of that message. So the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a woman who is aged 41 years old and I am tired. I am honestly tired. I just want to live a new life. I want to have a stable relationship, to get married. Yes, I know that I am a little bit old, but I think that the time is now for me to free myself from these charms that I have been using for all of these years. So what happened to me is that I went to South Africa when I was still very young. It was me and my husband. So my husband, he was then confused by the love of a South African woman. My husband, he was working as a welder for this other company. He was actually a boiler maker because of the money that he was earning. Because when we were still back home in Zim, he was not making a lot of money at the mine where we used to stay, where he was working. When we arrived in South Africa, he started to work for this other white man. He used to go around building these steel structures. So since my husband was a highly experienced boiler maker, and he was the one that they used to rely heavily upon, so he was being paid a lot of money, and my husband was like a fool who had found a gold mine. He did not know what else was he supposed to do with all the money that he was getting. Instead of investing this money back home in Zim, my husband became more like a madman. For the first time in his life, my husband started to go to different places, drinking alcohol, smoking. And when I would try to speak with him to tell him that the things that he was doing, they were not okay, he needed to remember that he had a wife and he had kids and he was supposed to take care of me, and we should be grateful that God had actually given us this chance. But my husband would not have but my husband would not listen to me. He will just tell me that if I wanted, I should go on and look for a job and work like as a maid or in the farms as other women that are from Zim were doing. He said that I was such a lazy woman, but he was the one who had told me that he did not want a woman who worked. He wanted a woman who was a stay-at-home mom, just waiting for him to return back home and to perform my duties in the bedroom. So I thought that I was doing everything that he had told me to do, but along the way he started to say that I was just a lazy woman. I used to cry a lot and I used to pray and fast for my husband, not knowing that my husband had tasted the love of a South African woman and he did not love me anymore. It was with time that I realized that my husband, this was what he was doing. This was when I had gone to visit this other white garment prophetess. She told me that my husband was in love with this other woman and there was no charm that we could use to make my husband to return back to me. That white garment prophetess asked me if I wanted her to give me some prayers. So the way that we were going to use these prayers was only to fix this woman who was stealing my husband, who wanted to get married to my husband so that she can be on her periods forever until she dies. But when I thought about it, I said, my husband was the one who had proposed love to this woman. My husband was the one who was supposed to suffer. That woman then said, if it is like that, then know that I cannot assist you in any kind of a way. The only person that I can hurt in this situation, it is that woman who has stolen your husband. Tell me, give me the go ahead, then we are going to use this needle. She actually had this other needle, and all that I was supposed to do was to stab that 500 milliliter bottle of fresh milk, and as the milk will be coming out, and that is exactly how that woman will start to go on her periods, the period that would last forever until she dies. But I just thought that this was just too evil. But when I think of it, maybe this is what I should have done. Maybe this was going to make my husband to return back to me. Maybe I was not going to become the woman that I am right now, because I am always lonely. It is not like I do not have men that chase after me, but I am just lonely, because the only men that chase after me, they are those ones that are already married. Because when I did these charms out of anger, all that I said was that I wanted to chase after men that were married. I did these things out of anger. I just wanted to revenge my husband. When I told that woman that she was supposed to do some prayers for me, that we're going to make married men that will be lasting after me to go really crazy. So after she had done the prayers, she told me that any man that I wanted, that man was going to become mine if that man is a married man. She told me that the prayers that she had given me, those prayers, they are called the prayers of Jezebel, the prayers of Queen Jezebel that she gave to me. She told me that whenever I wanted to be with a married man, all that I have to do was to take those prayers that she gave to me. Then I had to wash my face with that woman. She gave me this other red small cloth, and she told me that this red cloth, I still have it, and I have been keeping this cloth. I think now it is for almost 10 years that I have been keeping this cloth. It is a red small cloth, you know, those soft ones that women use after we have made love to our partners. So she told me to buy a cloth like that one. After I had bought one, I then returned with it to that same prophet, and she then told me that she was going to do some prayers, and this cloth, I was always supposed to keep it. So after making love to the man that I will be dating, all that I do is that I take that same cloth, then I will start to wipe his manhood, and then I'll pretend as if I am wiping myself. If it happens that we do this at my place, then the next morning when this man, maybe when he is bathing or eating, I then take that dirty cloth, then I will place it into this other calabash that I was told that at all the times I am supposed to put fresh milk after each and every 3 days. That is what I do. When the fresh milk is dried up, I then wash it with my own early morning urine. I remove that cloth, then I wash it with my early morning urine. Then I go and I buy the fresh milk, and I just put the fresh milk into that calabash, and then I put that cloth again into that calabash. Then I put that same cloth again into that calabash. This I have been doing for many, many years. So I started doing this when I was still in South Africa. I made so much money that I was able to buy my own house. I have my house that is in Masvingo as well as in Beitbridge. I started by buying my house in Beitbridge because there you can make a lot of money. And I started going into your taverns, your nightclubs, and I started to prostitute myself. I just wanted other women out there to feel the same pain that I felt at that time when that woman stole my husband. This is my own confession, my brother. You do not even know what I go through on most nights. I cry because I know that I might be lying in bed with a man, but I know that the man, when the morning will come, he will return back to his family. So I have been living this life for many, many years, and I am tired. I want to be in a relationship with a man that I can call my own. I am tired being with this Jezebel spirit. I just want to be with a man that is going to love me, to marry me, but I can't because of the rituals that I did. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. So this prophetess gave her some prayers which are called the prayers of Jezebel. Do you know any prayers that are called prayers of Jezebel? Strange things do happen in this world.